Put down the holiday chocolate and grab your mouse. These are the most exciting RPGs coming in 2022. It's a new year, and that means new games. 2022 is already shaping up to be a brilliant year for releases, and we can't wait. However, after a very relaxing break over the holidays, we're ready for a bit of action. So we're getting excited for all the new RPGs on the horizon. In 2022, we'll be saving Gotham, fighting off zombie hordes, and maybe jetting off to outer space. It's going to be a busy year then. Which RPG will be taking over your life this year? Let us know in the comments below. To make sure you never miss a moment of what this year has to offer, subscribe to the Logitech G channel and let's get into the games.
Get on with it, whatever you are.
Usually, From Software loves to punish us, but for once they're actually being very kind as we get to play Elden Ring in January. That's just enough time to mentally prepare for our grueling journey through this fantasy RPG. It sounds like everything we love from Souls games of the past, but with a whole new world and lore to discover from dusty pieces of loot. Although, don't worry, it won't be too different. The promise of castles and catacombs beckon, as well as the iconic, unbeatable bosses, but this time they're demigods, so good luck with that. There's deeper customization than ever before, all new weapons, and the addition of mounted combat, although we don't really think any of that will help us when we come face to face with a boss. Okay, we're ready, let the grind begin. We don't have an exact release date yet after it was pushed back, but Gotham Knights is planned to release sometime in 2022. This is the action RPG where Batman has died and left his former partners to protect the city. You can play as Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, and Red Hood to handle some iconic DC villains terrorizing Gotham. We love Batman games, but we can't deny the chance to play as one of the supporting cast is something we're really excited for. Each hero has a unique set of talents, from Red Hood's gunslinging to Robin's bow staff. However, you can also combine these with the drop-in, drop-out co-op, so friends can tag along for any of the story. It's a chance to create the narrative of our own dream comic team-up. Sorry Batman, there's new kids in town. Dying Light 2 is lurking right around the dimly lit corner, coming on February 4th. This is the second installment to the parkour zombie survival RPG, and it looks better than ever. Set 20 years after the first, survivors have crafted wooden structures in an attempt to rebuild society. And while the ground is a bit of a wasteland, trees and plants flourish on the rooftops. It's a distinct new look, and we can't wait to discover it all through the fluid parkour. Like the previous title, leaping and flipping across buildings is still the fastest and most fun way to get around. Dying Light 2 also promises more co-op action for 2 to 4 players, so our new survival strategy is not being the fastest, but just faster than a friend. Sorry. Releasing on March 25th, we have the Dungeons & Dragons style Borderlands adventure, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It started off as a DLC, but Tiny Tina is back with a whole new campaign to play, taking us through gun-filled fantasy worlds. Expect skeletons, dragons, and guns! So many guns. But also magic and melee, thanks to classes such as the Berserker and Stabomancer. Definitely things found in your player's handbook. Of course, this wouldn't be a tabletop adventure without co-op too. You and up to 3 friends can battle through the whole thing together, so just make sure you're the first to all the loot. Wonderlands looks like exactly the kind of Borderlands chaos we know and love, with our favourite fantasy tropes mashed in there for good measure. We can't wait. You know, anything based on a tabletop role-playing game is going to be a good RPG. Vampire the Masquerade is the way to live out your blood-sucking fantasies. So with Swansong in the way in 2022, we best get our eyeliner and black nail polish ready. Okay, even if you don't have a roster of edgy original characters lined up ready to play, Vampire the Masquerade still offers what should be an incredibly fun RPG. We follow the story of 3 vampires, each from different clans with differing abilities, reacting to a shootout in their city. We'll investigate the crime, interact with other vampires, and try to keep our nature hidden from unsuspecting humans. It looks to be a delectable mystery, if blood's your drink of choice, that we can't wait to sink our teeth into. Forspoken looks like it could be our fantasy RPG highlight of 2022. Transported from her regular life in New York to the fantastical Athia, Frey has to explore her new surroundings in the hopes of getting home. It looks to be a beautiful open world with elements that constantly remind us that we're not in New York anymore. Yes, that is a dragon. As Frey will fight for survival with an arsenal of magic abilities that let us run in powers first or take a strategic approach and hang back. After seeing the size of these creatures, it looks like the latter for us. Although we'll have to see what our magical talking bracelet named Cuff has to say on the matter. Oh yeah, we are definitely not at home anymore. Described as Skyrim in space by Bethesda lead Todd Howard, Starfield is set to release in November of 2022, and we can't wait. We join the organization Constellation to explore the mysteries of the galaxy. This is a time where there are vast futuristic cities and obviously space travel, but at the same time it looks like there's a whole lot yet to be discovered. We'll be going to new planets, jetting through the stars, and definitely stopping off at New Atlantis or Neon on the way. There's not much to go on yet, but from what we've seen so far, we're ready to don our spacesuits and head out. If all the games on this list have you desperate to jump into an RPG, don't worry, you can actually play one of them right now. Baldur's Gate 3 came out in 2020, but only in early access, with the full release possibly due in 2022. This is the fantasy epic set in Dungeons & Dragons Forgotten Realms. It has one of the best character creators we've ever used, which can be the difference between a good RPG and a great one. Then there's the story that starts with us being infected with an illithid tadpole. Beat that for a horrifying but brilliant opening. Then of course we get to build our party, get lost in side quests, and explore the breathtaking world. So get role-playing now or jump into the full release later this year. In 2019, Obsidian gave us their latest version of a brilliant sci-fi adventure with Outer Worlds, and now they're coming to put their distinctive stamp on fantasy with Avowed. This is another hopeful entry for 2022, as we don't have a confirmed date. It might well be 2023, but either way, we can't wait. We only have a trailer to go on for now, but it looks like an epic story full of swords and magic, so we just had to include it. Bring on 2022. So those are the best RPGs of 2022 that we can't wait for. Let us know in the comments which games you'll be disappearing into, and if you enjoyed, give this video a like. Make sure to subscribe to the Logitech G channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all our new releases in 2022.